One of the biggest questions, if Elon Musk does successfully purchase Twitter, is whether he's going to let Donald Trump back on Twitter. Donald Trump was banned from Twitter permanently in 2021. Remember, there are some who say that Trump was banned from Twitter in order to hurt him in the 2020 election. He wasn't banned until 2021. So assuming time moves forward, which I think we sort of think it does, unless you want to get into some metaphysical stuff, that isn't true. But Trump was banned from Twitter in 2021. Elon Musk was recently asked, would you let him back on Twitter? And Elon Musk said that he would. Now, I have some thoughts about this that some in my audience may not agree with. I'll get to those in a moment. Let's first listen to what Elon Musk said.
Are you planning to let Donald Trump back on?
Well, I think there's a general question of should Twitter have permanent bans? And you know, I've talked with Jack Dorsey about this, and he and I are of the same mind, which is that permanent bans should be extremely rare and really reserved for people where they're trying to for accounts that are bots or spam scam accounts, where there's just no legitimacy to the account at all. I do think that it was not correct to ban Donald Trump. I think that was a mistake because it alienated a large part of the country and did not ultimately result in Donald Trump not having a voice. He is now going to be on Truth Social, as will a large part of the right in the United States, and so I think this could end up being, frankly, worse than having a single forum where everyone can debate. I guess the answer is that I would reverse the perma ban. Obviously, I don't own Twitter yet, so this is not like a thing that will definitely happen, because what if I don't own Twitter? But my opinion, and Jack Dorsey, I want to be clear, shares this opinion, is that we should not have perma bans. Now that doesn't.
Okay, so Elon Musk says he thinks Trump was wrongly banned. Now, Donald Trump was rightly banned. Let's go through this in stages, okay? Trump broke Twitter terms of service, absolutely. Trump should have been banned. However, I am very much in the direction of lifetime bans should be extremely rare, and Trump probably shouldn't have gotten a lifetime ban. I'm not saying he should be unbanned today. I would be completely fine with it having been, okay, you incite violence, that's a 5-year ban, or 10 or 3, or it doesn't even really matter the specifics of it. But I generally don't believe in irreversible decisions. Not that a Twitter ban is like the death penalty, but I am against the death penalty because if you make a mistake, you can't undo it once you've executed somebody. So permanent bans for bot accounts, accounts that are fake, pretending to be someone else, impersonation, automated activity. Oh, absolutely. No question about that. Those are bans for life. That's just a purging trash, right? I mean, we perma ban all of that stuff on, on all of our platforms when we see that type of thing. When it comes to violations of terms of service, I still am okay with some bans for life, but they've got to be like, I don't even know, you live stream yourself committing a crime, murdering someone, whatever, lifetime ban. YouTube does that, all these, that's okay. But even as bad as what Trump did was, and he did really bad things. I mean, you can argue that his actions, his actions in total, and Twitter was part of it, led to real world violence, and it's terrible and he should have been banned. I still lean towards most cases are a ban for a specific amount of time, subject to review and revision. And I would be fine for that review and revision to determine Trump gets another 3 years or whatever. I'm totally fine with that. But I would lean heavily in the direction of these are for a sort of specified amount of time in general. Now, when we talk about Trump specifically, realistically, he may never change, and he might get back on and do the exact same stuff. In which case you might say, well, but there's no reason to think he'd do anything differently, and so we're going to keep him banned. I'm fine with that. The other problem, there's two other problems with this anyway, and it's sort of like a fraught question. One is we know that terms of service are inconsistently applied. They're inconsistently applied in different cases based on how prominent accounts are, and they're inconsistently applied also just on the basis of content. That's just a thing, and I'm not saying that they're inconsistently applied in terms of a left or right wing bias. That is a debate, but I'm not even dipping into that right now. Just terms of service are inconsistently applied, and we experience that as well. There are, on YouTube, for example, because our content is seen by more people than channels with 1,000 subscribers, there are lots of things we get demonetized for that other really small channels don't get hit with just because no one's paying attention. And you can argue that that's right or wrong or whatever, but we have an inconsistent application of terms of service. And then the other thing is, I am right there with you that the idea of the bans get reviewed, who does the reviewing, and do we trust them to do the reviewing? And I don't have an answer to that right now. So I'm speaking in principle. I think for the most part, we should almost never have bans for life. Extend them, whatever, almost like a parole hearing. I'm fine with that. Do you trust the people you put in charge to do it becomes a real question. As I've said many times before, I believe that the secret to personal finance, and it's not really a secret, isn't about timing the market or picking individual stocks. It's basically asset allocation. And in order to determine asset allocation, you've got to know all of the different assets that are out there. That's why I joined a community called Alts, and we asked them to be a sponsor. Alts is a newsletter that makes the world of alternative assets accessible to anyone, even if you're new to it. Alts does the research on alternative assets that no one else is doing right now, and they break it down for readers in a way that's nuanced and it's easy to digest and honest, and provides you with just a ton of valuable insight into what assets are there. And this could be baseball cards, collectibles, music rights, comic books, video games. The Alts newsletter demystifies these investment markets for you. Their recommendations have a track record that you can check out on their website. And you can also learn about the Alts One Fund, which contains a blend of alternative assets, including collectibles and art and music rights and the things that I've mentioned. You can find that and the free newsletter at davidpakman.com/alts. The link is down below.